Shout out to these fans for coming up with the idea to this video. If you have any cool ideas for a future video, let me know in the comments below. I may just give you a shout out. What's up my net soldiers, I am the Net Alliance. Today we have the question, what if Mace Windu survived his fight with Palpatine? Now if you remember into Revenge of the Sith, Mace Windu and Palpatine, they have their fight after Kit Fisto and the other two get killed. And then eventually Mace does outdo Palpatine in his lightsaber battle. However, right before Mace Windu is actually able to finish off the Sith Lord, Anakin walks in. And Anakin's like, what are you doing? He must stand trial. And Palpatine's like, hit me, Anakin, hit me. And Mace is like, are you kidding me? This guy's gotta die. He's gotta go, like now, like stat. This is the Sith Lord we've been looking for the last 10 years. He's gotta die. He's like, no, I will make myself look ugly and disgusting for the original trilogy to make sense. And so Mace is like, why are you firing this lightning at me? You're only shocking yourself. You're killing yourself. And Anakin's like, well, I need to save my wife. And I've had like bad dreams and stuff. So I kind of have to help Palpatine. Sorry, Mace. But we're cool though, right? So as Anakin goes to fist bump Mace, he actually has his lightsaber in his hand, accidentally presses the button, and actually ends up cutting off Mace Windu's arm. And Palpatine's like, oh, this is my time to shine. Unlimited power. And Mace Windu's like, this hurts really bad. Really bad. The reason why it sounds like that is because Palpatine threw him out the window. Now, before we go any further, could this actually happen? Well, let's consider the following. First off, Mace was missing an arm, and he was just seriously electrocuted, so I'm sure he was pretty hurt. Add those to the fact that he was thrown out of a massive skyscraper, makes his chances of living quite slim. But if you look into a bunch of different stories, granted many of them are actually part of the legends now, but Jedi have fallen from equivalent heights and survived, so it may be possible Mace might have actually survived. Now the way I would come to this conclusion is I would put myself in Mace's shoes. If I was free falling from a massive tower, and I had the ability to use the Force, I would just force push myself to slow myself down every so often. Wouldn't that make sense? I'm sure I might be a little bit disoriented after the whole situation, but after a couple seconds of free falling, I might just regain my strength, especially if I was Mace Windu. And Mace Windu, being the strong Jedi that he was, would be able to use the Force push ability, especially since he still has one arm left. So theoretically speaking, Mace Windu could actually survive. So let's say Mace Windu did survive. Where would he go next? Well, there are multiple different things that could happen from this. Personally, I think that Mace Windu would actually try to return to the Jedi Temple. Maybe gather up a few more masters, prepare for battle, put all of Coruscant as well as, I guess, the entire Republic on alert. Because guess what, Republic? Not only did you manage to actually elect a Sith Lord as the Chancellor, you also happen to give him supreme emergency powers, which allows him to be essentially an emperor. You know, after I think about this a little bit more, why didn't anyone ever say anything? Like, it doesn't seem like the Senate ever had a problem. The only person who had a problem with it was Padme. But I'm getting off topic, so let's get back to the video. So Mace would then prepare his Jedi, and I think that he would either stay and try to fight, or he might actually try to leave Coruscant. Because even if someone were to prematurely announce Palpatine as the Sith Lord, Palpatine already has Order 66 lined up. He already has control of the Republic. Mace Windu said it himself. He was too powerful to be left alive. Because although everyone loves the Jedi, the Chancellor is the face of the Republic. And once Palpatine kind of displays the damage the Jedi had done to him, the Jedi would come under fire, maybe even be hated out of all the Republic systems. Now, of course, there would be some naysayers who don't believe Palpatine, but the way all those senators just kind of let him have the emergency powers, I'm gonna guess the majority would be on his side. So if I was Windu, I would gather up all my Jedi and I would actually leave Coruscant. For although the Jedi are powerful, they are simply outmatched by all the clone armies. And Mace Windu, being the smart guy that he is, realizes this. He realizes it was all a ploy from the very beginning. Palpatine's rise to power was planned. The creation of the clone armies was planned. The destruction of the Jedi was planned. All of these things had already been coordinated a long time ago and are now only being fulfilled now. Now from here, I'm not quite sure where Mace Windu would take his Jedi. I know for a fact he would send out distress calls to all the rest of the Jedi to be like, hey, you gotta go to our coordinates right now. Leave what you're doing, leave your troops right behind right now. Something big happened, you gotta come back, we all gotta be here just in case. So whatever planet Windu decides to go to, that's where all the Jedi are gonna meet at. And it's gonna have to be a secret planet. A planet that's hidden by the dark side, so not even Palpatine could sense where they were at. Now I'm sure there are a bunch of planets that have the dark side corrupted all over them, but just for the story's sake, let's say it's Dagobah. So the Jedi would all land and meet at Dagobah. The massive ship they used to get off of Coruscant is now their home. This would be the Jedi's new headquarters, their base of operations. Because I'm sure the ship had some medical droids, so they can just throw that thing on. From here, the Jedi Knights and the Jedi Masters would then be used as reconnaissance, kind of like spies, just kind of checking out how the Republic is doing. Where some would just be getting intel on what's going on, others would be trying to find Jedi who are on the run or have been captured or whatever. So just like Mace Windu predicted, Palpatine did release the Order 66. Now, of course, he didn't realize it was Order 66 until a little bit later in the story, but eventually he finds out that's exactly how he controlled the clones. So the clones are officially on the hunt for Jedi, and that's why the Jedi have to work in the shadows and have to stay low. And now that Palpatine has claimed himself as the Emperor, the Jedi would have to find the Rebel Alliance, pretty much find an ally, some way to actually fight the Empire, which they eventually would, and it may take some time, but eventually the Jedi and the Rebel Alliance could team up and try to take on the Imperial forces. Now this timeline would affect a lot of things and completely change stuff from the original series of which we've seen. First off, Anakin never fought Obi-Wan and never lost his limbs, so he's technically still just as powerful as he was, if not even more stronger. Also, with that said, Padme never died, and Luke and Leia were born, and they're a happy family. And although Anakin still kind of feels guilt for what he did, he now has the power to actually save his family. He's become that powerful, which is a good thing for him, but kind of a bad thing for the other Jedi. Because Darth Vader with that much power without being hindered by the robotic arms and the burns he received, as well as the big clunky suit, backed up by Darth Sidious, that's kind of a problem. So what I would consider doing is I would have about 25% of the rebel forces kind of pull away most of the Imperial troops all the way away, maybe across the entire galaxy for while it can be, you know, all the way on the outer rim or something. And that's when I would strike. I'm talking Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, the whole council, Yoda, you know, everyone is just gonna go and strike Coruscant. And of course, they're gonna be backed up by the rest of the rebellion. So we're talking massive battles going on here. I feel that Obi-Wan would try to break away and actually try to find Anakin, see if he can reason with him. And sure, they may fight, but I feel that although Anakin really doesn't have that connection to the dark side, because you see, he did what he had to do because he wanted to save his wife. And now that he has the ability to do that, and he has Luke and Leia to look after and be a father to, he realizes he really screwed up. And Obi-Wan gives him a chance to redeem himself. Obi-Wan says, "Come with us, help us defeat the Emperor, help us take down the Empire, and you will truly be Anakin Skywalker again." And Anakin's like, "Well, you know, Mace Windu's gonna hate me. I kind of cut off his arm and almost killed him." And Obi-Wan's like, "Yeah, we'll have to talk to him a little bit." So Anakin joins the Jedi again, and together the Council, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, Yoda, and a multiple of other Jedi take on the clone armies and eventually get to the Emperor. I think a cool scenario would go like this. So the entire Jedi Council is fighting their way to Palpatine's chambers, because they're ready for a fight. Now Anakin and Obi-Wan haven't actually been able to meet up with the rest of the Jedi yet, so right now it's pretty much Mace, Yoda, the rest of the council, a few other Jedi Masters. They're all rushing to try to get to the Emperor and take him down. Now something goes awry, and it turns out when they're trying to get through this one doorway, maybe one of the blast doors shut, and so only a few Jedi get through, and so Coyote-Mundi and the rest of the council are kind of like, "Hey, we'll guard this door, make sure no clones can get in. You guys just take out the Emperor. Do it." So let's say it's Mace Windu and a couple other Jedi who come across Palpatine. Now the fight would go down like it did before. The other Jedi would either be injured or killed, and it would come down to Mace and Palpatine. But this time, Palpatine was ready. He ends up shocking Mace Windu's robotic arm, short-circuiting it, and then slashes Mace's leg, bringing him to his knees. Windu is in pain as he looks around at the rest of his Jedi who have been taken down. He looks up at the Emperor, and while Palpatine expects Mace to beg for his life, Mace does not. He only looks at Palpatine, because he will not beg for his life. And Palpatine raises his blade in the air, ready to strike Windu down. And just as Palpatine is bringing his lightsaber down on Mace Windu, it's stopped by a blue lightsaber. Both Palpatine and Mace look over, and there's Anakin standing triumphant. Mace Windu's not quite sure what's going on because last time he saw Anakin helped Palpatine. Mace Windu is injured and beaten and can only watch the fight, as Obi-Wan jumps in to help Anakin. All three fight for a while. Eventually Obi-Wan is knocked out of the fight, and it comes down to Anakin and Palpatine. Mace picks up his lightsaber and throws it to Anakin, allowing Anakin to dual blade two lightsabers. And Anakin, using the great power he has gained, as well as the love for his friends and fellow Jedi, is able to slay Palpatine, cutting the evil Emperor down, ending his reign. Anakin and Obi-Wan go to Mace Windu, and Windu looks up at Anakin. No words are said, but the expression on Mace Windu's face says it all. Sure, Anakin betrayed him before and tried to kill him, but he just saved Mace's life. And now, Mace has nothing but respect for Anakin. And that's all Anakin ever wanted. He wanted respect, and he finally got it. Now I'm gonna end this theory here, because I kinda turned it into a story. As you can tell, I said this theory in more of a narrative term. It kinda had more story and character development. If you guys like to see this type of stuff, let me know in the comments below. It was a different type of theory, but if you guys like it, then I'll do it more often. And with all my videos, this is just my opinion. So what is your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe if you guys enjoy my videos, and until next time guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.